If you are somebody that hates Apple, and I think there are actually a lot of people that fall into that category, this is going to be a very, very good day for you. Because believe me when I say that they just got the smackdown of a lifetime in court, they just got their behinds smacked by a judge calling them a naughty boy. They were quite literally just found in contempt of court, which is not good at all, and this is all in the Epic Games sort of lawsuit, or kind of the umbrella that is under that lawsuit. That lawsuit has been over for a while now. In fact, 2021 was when it ended, but the thing is, with the end of that lawsuit came certain directives from a judge, and now a judge in California is saying that Apple directly violated at least one of these directives, and that is why they are being found in contempt of court. So this is a huge 80-page court filing document that I will link in the description. As you can see from the stamp on top here, it was literally filed today, Wednesday, April 30th. So getting right into it, it says, for the reasons set forth herein, the court finds Apple in willful violation of this court's 2021 injunction, which issued to restrain and prohibit Apple's anti-competitive conduct and anti-competitive pricing. Apple's continued attempts to interfere with competition will not be tolerated. Right off the bat, they are wagging the finger. They're not very happy, and it only gets better from there. Don't get me wrong, the wording in this filing stays professional, but it is very clear. They don't leave you guessing what their attitude is here. I mean, they really are mad. So they go on to say, in stark contrast to Apple's initial in-court testimony, contemporaneous business documents reveal that Apple knew exactly what it was doing and at every turn chose the most anti-competitive option. To hide the truth, Vice President of Finance Alex Roman outright lied under oath. Internally, Philip Schiller had advocated that Apple comply with the injunction, but Tim Cook ignored Schiller and instead allowed Chief Financial Officer Luca Maestri and his finance team to convince him otherwise. Cook chose poorly. They're saying Tim Cook chose poorly. This is the CEO of Apple. The real evidence detailed herein more than meets the clear and convincing standard to find a violation. The court refers the matter to the United States Attorney for the Northern District of California to investigate whether criminal contempt proceedings are appropriate. Now, essentially, and as I will show in a little bit here, yeah, Apple is being found right now in civil contempt of court. This is quite a bit different than criminal contempt of court. Civil is not as bad, but as you heard in that last sentence, this is being referred to a U.S. attorney that is basically higher in power to see if criminal contempt proceedings are appropriate here. Now, civil contempt of court can technically result in criminal charges, but it's not very likely. Usually civil contempt is just kind of a directive. But if they are actually now found in criminal contempt of court, yeah, that can lead to criminal charges. They go on to say this is an injunction, not a negotiation. There are no do-overs once a party willfully disregards a court order. Time is of the essence. The court will not tolerate further delays. As previously ordered, Apple will not impede competition. The court enjoins Apple from implementing its new anti-competitive acts to avoid compliance with the injunction. Effective immediately, Apple will no longer impede developers' ability to communicate with users, nor will they levy or impose a new commission on off-app purchases. So at this point, I probably should explain what they're actually referring to here. As I said, this is in a reference to the Epic versus Apple lawsuit. Now, specifically what they are referencing here is that in 2021, it was essentially ordered that Apple, they can't have a monopoly on in-app purchases. I guess there was this issue with them receiving like commission from in-app purchases, and this was a big deal with Fortnite on the App Store. So in 2021, Apple was ordered to basically allow app developers to inform users about, third-party payments for these in-app purchases, basically informing users, hey, you don't have to go through the App Store and pay more than you have to. But it very much sounds like Apple has not really, as I said, been a good boy here and followed that court order. The judge is saying that they have basically continued to perform anti-competitive measures. They use this screenshot as an example of kind of what people would see when they would try to make a purchase outside of the App Store. And again, this is after the 2021 injunction, which, as I understand it, basically said that they're not supposed to do stuff like this because it is considered kind of an anti-competitive measure. So then to conclude here, it says Apple's conduct violates the injunction. The non-compliance was far from technical or de minimis. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Okay, I just looked it up. It literally means of very little importance. So yes, the non-compliance was very important, basically. It wasn't just a technical issue. So they say Apple's lack of adequate justification, knowledge of the economic non-viability of its compliance program, motive to protect its illegal revenue stream, and institute a new de facto anti-competitive structure, and then create a reverse-engineered justification to proffer to the court cannot, in any universe, real or virtual, be viewed as a product of good faith or a reasonable interpretation of the court's orders. So then finally it says in black and white, the court holds Apple in civil contempt. And as I stated previously, they were referred to a higher court to, determine if criminal contempt is necessary here. So very, very big stuff here. Now, one thing I also want to add that's very important, it does actually sound like, from what I'm reading, that Fortnite is going to officially return to the App Store in the US. I should specifically say here the Apple App Store. So yes, this is definitely changing a lot of stuff here. Apple was really put in its place by a judge, and as I said, I'm not an Apple hater, really. I don't really, I guess, have like a certain solid opinion on them, but if you are an Apple hater, well, this is a very good day for you. They quite literally got called out for something very big, and now it turns out it could actually lead to criminal charges.